My name's James Hodkinson and I teach German at Warwick University. When I was studying, I went out to live for a year in Germany, in Hamburg, for a gap year, and ended up working in a school and living in a flat there. Coming home one night, unexpectedly, I was attacked by a gang of lads, probably about my own age, from the local Turkish community. I fell and bashed my head on the pavement, and I was eventually helped to hospital, and I was looked after there. I got over it physically quite quickly, but it took me a while to find my feet again living out in Germany. I'd spent time learning the language already and I was starting to feel part of the community, but I'd been knocked back out of it. I felt like I'd been rejected by part of Germany that I didn't really know or didn't really understand. Back in the UK, I'd been at school, I'd grown up alongside Muslim kids, and religion had never really been an issue for us. But it had become an issue for me now. And slowly though, I started to make friends in the Turkish community through work, through school. And after a while, I felt myself accepted again. I was able to walk back down that street. It didn't matter, I didn't feel afraid anymore. But when I returned to finish my studies and subsequently, after I became an academic, that early experience has shaped myself, shaped my career, shaped the work that I've done. I've made it really part of what I do as a researcher, as an academic, to find out more about Muslims in Germany, about the history of Islam in Germany, and think critically and very carefully about what it might say to us today in the UK. One of the things that experience taught me was the importance of being able to put yourself in somebody else's shoes, to imagine what it is they think and feel when they see you. And that's possibly best described by the idea of empathy. Empathy isn't the same as sympathy, which means kind of feeling sorry for somebody. Empathy is really about the ability to imagine the world from somebody else's point of view, to put yourself in their shoes, to feel and think what they're thinking and feeling. We can never really know. We can't actually inhabit somebody else's mind, but by imagining what the world might be, by feeding off what it is they tell us about their experiences, that's quite a powerful thing for me. It changes our relationship to them. And one of the things that I'm really fascinated with art, literature, all of the things that I work on as an academic, is how art can help us to feel empathy with other people. When we leave the cinema or the art gallery or the theatre, wherever we've been, whether as artists or as an audience, we don't necessarily lose ourselves, we don't lose our own identity, but we come away from the experience changed, enriched, with a greater sense of connection maybe. What was it when I was back in Hamburg when I was 21 that drove those guys to kick me on the ground as though I wasn't a human being? What is it that leads people to hate each other so much, to point fingers, to divide along community lines, to blame others for their own suffering and for their own unfortunate circumstances? Why do we see images of men in America marching with flaming torches? Why do we see race hatred, xenophobia, mutual mistrust? All of these things are on the rise. And it seems the more that we see them, the more we see images and footage and reports about them circulating on the news and through social media, the worse it seems to get. What can we do? How can we find ourselves living again in what we might call an age of hatred? What does empathy have to offer? And what does art have to offer to promote empathy? What is the art of empathy?